Hello, it is Creature, and today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. Today we're going to be embarking on a review of a game that I've been playing on and off for the last decade. Elder Scrolls Online was one of the first MMOs I've ever played, besides RuneScape and Webkins. And that's not counting the 4 to 5 weeks I put into World of Warcraft whenever I was in middle school. Look, my brother and his friend got into the game around Mists of Pandaria, and they needed a support player. Naturally, as the little brother, I was made heel bitch. I think I rocked a Blood Elf Paladin or some shit, because they wanted to go Horde, and I didn't. However, this did whet my appetite for an MMO, and since Skyrim was all everyone was talking about, that and Fallout 4, I remember being in the gym before school and one of my friends showed me the trailer for ESO. Me and my friends got the game right whenever it came out, and while the old account with Grumbo LaCrux has been lost to 2 hurricanes and a continental-wide game of Where's My Fucking PC, the account is sadly lost. The Steam account, however, endures. I started playing it a little bit around COVID time, and I've been playing it on and off over the last few years. I haven't been able to really get into the game for more than a month or so, and since I'm getting YouTuber brain where I can barely play something without feeling guilty for not recording it, we have arrived at today's topic of discussion. So, come with me as I delete all my old characters, except for Grok Narlek. Fuck you, Elon, you named your AI after my orc crafting character that I made at least half a decade ago. But nah, we ain't deleting Grok, so I made my character. I have picked Breton and Sorcerer, as is tradition. Any other son of Lorcan would have also sufficed. I plan on going Mage Tank, mainly because I think being a magical brick wall is kinda cool, and it's also what I used to play beforehand. We wake up in a prison cell, as is tradition, and are met by the ghost of Joe Biden, who tells us that we are effectively in hell, and we need to meet up with Lyris Titanborn, who will be assisting us in facilitating our escape. Apparently, some knife ear named Minimarco has sacrificed us to Molag Bal, Daedric Prince of Suffering, Domination, and pretty much anything that is antithetical to the concept of free will. 2,000 years since Pelennor and Elysia, and still, shit ain't changed. If I've said it once, then I'll say it again. Everything bad in Tamriel is the direct fault of the elves. And to anyone who's normally a knife-ear simp but doesn't know too much about the Elder Scrolls elves, these are not the ones to simp for. After talking to the Boomer Ghost, Lyris frees us, and we make our way through a prison riot that is the result of tens of thousands of sometimes people being sacrificed en masse by a high elf incel, during which we get our combat tutorial. Afterwards, we step outside and do a little bit of Daedra hunting, and slaughtering the Eye of Molag Bal, and going to find Cadwell. Cadwell is a cheery fellow who may or may not be Sheogorath, Daedric Prince of Madness, just fucking with Molag Bal, acting as the oldest soul shriven. A soul shriven is what we are, effectively a meat suit that consists of everything but a missing soul. While this does have some serious lore implications as to what our souls are up to, probably some horrific shit at the hands of Molag Bal, but beyond our souls being ripped out of our bodies and lacking a pulse, there are some advantages of being a semi-undead abomination. Namely, we can't really die. Using any amount of a soul gem will revitalize our unmoving corpses. May I also say has some very odd lore implications. Is replacing a soul like someone changing oil? Yo Narlak, Bjorn just died. Nah, shove a squirrel in him, he'll be fine. I think that we're just dunking on restoration magic at this point. I mean, we got that one bitch who's just like,
"You consider restoration a valid school of magic, worthy..."
Meanwhile, Cletus, the half-drunk Breton, is running around the morgue looking at corpses going,
"Ain't got no gas in it."
Then shoving a mud crab soul in people. Is animal soul transplantation like organ transplantation? I think that we're getting a little too deep into the weeds here. Elder Scrolls lore is a little weird, and the wheel is an eye, and the eye is a wheel, and it's looking right at me, and I'm about to zero sum.
I'm a god. How can you kill a god? What a grand and entire...
Cadwell tells us about the Undercroft, effectively a secret way to get inside the big Daedric Palace. And he also informs us that we're going to be cornered by traps and whatnot, so we make our way through the Undercroft to get to the prison room where the Prophet is being held. And we have to swap Lyris for the Prophet like it's Pokemon PC, since we can't take the Prophet's place since we don't have a soul. And then once we free the Prophet, we have to head to the mooring. the other side of the massive chains that are bursting through the sky. Molag Bal sends a tutorial boss at us, and after realigning my body to Nirn, we jump into the portal and escape. We get separated and dropped into the ocean, where we wake up on a boat and learn that some pirates have fished us out of the ocean. After moving around a little bit on the ship, we learn that a Captain Colleen is responsible for unleashing us upon Nirn. She is a pirate captain and a Redguard, loyal to the Daggerfall Covenant, and she is not happy. We find ourselves on sunny Stros, a small island off the coast of Hammerfell, and there's also a full Elder Scrolls game called Redguard. It is a major trade port and is a massively advantageous naval asset against the Altmerry Dominion. Apparently, Captain Colleen has a beef with some guy named Headsman Bosek, who is the current ruler of Stros, and seeing how she saw me plummet out of the sky and into the ocean and fished me out, I feel somewhat obligated to at least hear her out. The plan? I don't really know. But what I do know is that apparently she needs 3 individuals on this island to do something. However, all I need to do is really just gather them for her. What are we doing? A heist. What are we heisting? Something. What exactly? Again, I don't know. This bitch is being dense about it. But we just head out because if we're gonna have a heist, that means I'm gonna get paid. But we need to find Jakarn, the thief, Namiro, some high elf who's a scholar, and crafty Larissa, also a thief. I don't know what the plan is, but I know where to start. The Grave is a brutal prison underneath Bosek's palace, and apparently, Jakarn is in there for cucking Bosek and stealing some shit. So we make our way to the dungeon, where we find Jakarn's side hoe waiting for him by the entrance.
What they're doing to him down there. He's a prince. He doesn't belong in the grave.
We make our way inside and find the Grave. Designed with minimal security personnel in mind, this prison relies entirely on traps that guard much of the prison. Apparently, you're free to go, it's just most don't try to make it out. So we dive through the food hole and find Jakarn behind some bars.
Hey, you're not a guard. You have to help me.
We release him, but he wants to go out the back way. He tells us that we have to help him recover some stashed goods. And where are these stashed exactly? So we make our way to the Goblin camps, where we meet an injured Nord who is trying to fight back against the Goblin King.
They killed everyone. My brothers and our 5 guards. They speared me good, left me for dead. I crawled here after they left. Their new king's got them all riled up.
Naturally, we agree to kill the Goblin King, and then go off, find him, kill him pretty quickly, and then head back to the mines and find Jakarn's stuff, whereas we simply just bulldoze through the goblins. We kill whatever that guy's name is, and get the gem back, and Jakarn agrees to meet us in town. As we emerge, an orc corners us and asks us if we have seen Jakarn. I tell her to fuck off, and she does. During this, I saved a man from insanity with the power of alcohol, and seeing the results of the RUI, I head into town and partake in a little bit of mud crab cockfighting. I bet my money on Steel Pincer. Meanwhile, some others decided to put theirs into Stone Shell. Naturally, Steel Pincer beat Stone Shell. Anyway, I wandered around for a bit and just kind of enjoyed the scenery, did a little bit of fishing, and eventually just made my way down the coast, where I found myself in... I quickly met with crafty Larissa, and she told us the situation. Pirates stationed in Saintsport are effectively a rival gang of Bosek. However, they'll keep to themselves, and there'll be no issues, allowing the pirates to raid as they see fit.
Charming. The maiden's wrecked on the sandy shore. As for
Larissa and her crew are captured and are most likely being brutalized and tortured by the pirates. She tells us about her disguises, gives us an outfit, and allows us to blend in with the other pirates. This is made all the easier as all the other pirates are absolutely shit-faced, allowing us to just kind of walk past them and free the crewmates without anybody really noticing. And after we do that, we free an orc, a Breton, and a wood elf. With our gaggle of misfits, we make our way back to Larissa. After she anamorphs from being a fern...
the fern? Or did you see a fern because you weren't looking close enough?
I guess this is what a Daedric artifact looks like to an NPC. Our next trick is to steal a treasure map and take care of the other captain. So we go under deck, take a look around, steal some stuff, and find a treasure map. We meet up with Larissa, and she has disguised herself as the cabin girl, poisoned the captain,
You like a stuck pig. Cut your eyes out. Roast you. Like you did my crew.
so we just leave her to die and talk with Larissa. And her crew are on board for the heist. Now we just have one last person to find. We meet with Naramo, and he tells us of the practically untouched ruins and his new spider friend. He needs to get inside the ruins in order to find some ancient Dwemer schematics, and in order to do so, we need to help him. So we go and activate command crystals with the spider and open the front door. Once inside, we're able to activate the generators that provide power for the entirety of the ruins. Naramo is apparently the first person to coin the term generators.
Suppose I'm the only one who calls them that. Independently apportioning dynamite.
After fighting off Dwemer shit, we repair the power creators and are faced with a bridge. Either one side that has a bunch of traps or the bridge of combat. I chose combat, and after realizing I wasn't getting any experience from it, I just bolted to the other side of the bridge. In the second chamber, the previous adventurers who got screwed over are now decomposing in the corner, and after snagging the schematics from their dead hands, we leave, and Naramo is down to join the heist. We make our way back to... I went back to the tavern and got squared up with the ignored guy who got his ass kicked by some goblins, and met up with Jakarn. He was also down for the heist, so we went to Colleen to hear out her plan. In short, Bosek is the current ruler of Stros Makai, which gives him a level of immunity when it comes to a lot of the politics on the mainland. However, Stros Makai is a part of Hammerfell, which is a part of the Daggerfall Covenant, along with the Bretons and the Orcs. And if Bosek is raiding Breton and Covenant ships, then that's a massive fucking problem. And if this massive problem is discovered, then Hammerfell and the Covenant are gonna come down on Stros Makai hard. Our job is simple. Go in, get the list of Bosek's crimes, you know, the list of crimes with all of the incriminating evidence against the guy with the interesting palace on the island, you know, the list with all the contacts, the guy on who owns the island and the weird looking...
You have what's been described as an egg-shaped penis.
That list. Anyway, we make our preparations and head out. The heist actually goes pretty well. In fact, we're able to just kind of walk through the entire thing. And Larissa had her crew infiltrate the entire palace. Jakarn drugged and cucked Bosek, again, and the staff that Naramo gave me was able to just one-shot the guy guarding the the Bosek files. Anyway, after just simply walking in and walking out while the others rob Bosek blind, we meet up with some Covenant officials. We hand over the list, and our job is done, along with a very hefty payment. Captain Colleen invites us aboard her ship, and we meet her crew. Just to quickly go through them, we have Lambour, the token orc crewmate, Larissa, the high elf who's gonna cockblock Jakarn for all of eternity, Mule, who apparently is kinda gay for Jakarn, some former Bosek slaves, Daragor, Larissa's second in command, Nazmat, and Ethanol, who will be competing with Mule for Jakarn. Good luck, girls. Vimy, a collector who may or may not have ties to the slave trade. Mechagro Bug, an orc who wants to fuck the only other orc on the ship. Kassan, a wise old Khajiit master that serves Captain Colleen. Andrelion, who apparently just got stuck doing Namiro's bitch work. A handful of crewmates from Larissa's people. Tuma Shah, a loyal Argonian who's actually the first person that we meet when we make up. Finlil the cook, and finally, Nicolene. Colleen's minty, and after all of that, we're gonna head to the next area, Betnik.
Leave for Betnik, an orc island that hasn't yet joined the Covenant. I hope to change that. Lambour is happy to go home. She may try to thank you with ale. My advice, make it to 6 mugs. You'll have a friend for life.